saved my life. I learned a lot along the way. What can I expect? What is the experience gonna be like? Labor pains, but in my breast. Ooh, you are more than enough. What's up, y'all? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I pray that all is well with every single one of you. I am Autumn Monet. If you are returning to my channel, what's up? I'm so glad that you've decided to come back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you enjoy this content today and that you get something extremely valuable. And if you do, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It still blows my mind today that my body, my human body, can produce food for my child, and that's the only food that they will absolutely need for a very long time. Like, that's absolutely crazy. And this is something that most moms, as soon as you become pregnant, or maybe not as soon as you become pregnant, but once you start thinking about and researching about breastfeeding, like, a lot of moms are wondering, what can I expect? What is the experience gonna be like? And I gotta say, first of all, the experience is different for everyone, but there are a lot of things that you can do in order to be successful. My journey was honestly up and down, but I feel like most of the downs were because I was unknowledgeable about a lot of things. I learned a lot along the way. And so next time I have a child, there will be a lot of things that I do differently than what I did my first time. The first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that breastfeeding for some can take time. It can take time to learn how to get your baby to latch. It can take time for you to learn when your baby needs to breastfeed. It can take time for your breast to become accommodated to when your baby needs to breastfeed. Fun fact, if you don't know already, once your baby is kind of on a cycle, your milk produces like a whole lot and comes in a whole lot around the time that your baby gets hungry, which is really like really cool. But when you're in the hospital, you learn to do a lot of skin to skin, especially if you are breastfeeding, just because it kind of what's the word I'm looking for, connects your body chemistry to the body chemistry of your child. And it's almost like as soon as your baby is hungry, as soon as they start crying for something to eat, or sometimes even before they start crying, your milk begins to let down and you know, okay, it's time to go ahead and breastfeed. But I don't want you to get discouraged if you're not getting the hang of things immediately. If you're not getting the hang of the schedule, or you're not getting the hang of getting your child to latch, I would highly suggest getting a lactation specialist. Fortunately, and kind of unfortunately, part of the story is unfortunate, but I gave birth at a hospital that did have a lactation specialist, but I gave birth to my daughter on a Saturday, and that lactation specialist did not work on weekends. So I had to wait until she came back in Monday to make an appointment to meet with her, and then meet with her later that week. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that my daughter did not get a whole lot of milk those first few days of her life. Though, granted, they don't need a whole lot, I did worry that she wasn't getting even what she needed. Nonetheless, after meeting with the lactation specialist, I still didn't get it immediately. I didn't even get it in that session, but I met with my lactation specialist a few times over the next few weeks, and eventually I began to feel a lot more comfortable with breastfeeding my daughter. So I want to tell you now, take your time. Don't get discouraged. It can be extremely easy to get discouraged with not being able to really just get the hang of breastfeeding as soon as you have your child, because your hormones are all over the place, and there's this thing with like not feeling like you are enough if you're not able to give your child what they need in that moment. And let me just tell you now, it will be okay. It will be okay. You will get the hang of it. Your child will get the hang of it. And eventually you'll be breastfeeding like a pro. Just, if it's something that you really, really want, do not give up. It's okay to supplement if you need to, but do not give up. Number 2, I would not have introduced a bottle to my child as soon as I did. I introduced a bottle to my daughter the first week of her being born. And honestly, so there's this thing with, if you're breastfeeding, of course, do whatever you want to do. This is what I would and would not have done and will do differently next time. I would have waited another maybe week or 2 before introducing a bottle to my daughter, simply because some children have a difficult time learning how to latch onto your breast. And because your nipple is different than the nipple of a baby bottle, though there are some baby bottles that mimic an actual nipple, to my knowledge, unless there's something new out there that I don't know about yet, to my knowledge, it's not the exact. Plus, every woman's nipples are different. But the main reason I would not introduce that bottle so early is because my daughter got nipple confusion. And because of that, she was drinking milk from me incorrectly. I would get extremely clogged up. Even if I would warm my breast in between or before or whatever, I would get extremely clogged up and get what is called mastitis. And y'all, let me just tell you, you don't want mastitis, okay? I described mastitis as like labor pains, but in my breast. It was painful, extremely painful. So painful that I went to the ER twice. Y'all, I don't wish that on anybody. I know we have to go through labor, but I don't wish mastitis on anybody, on any woman. It's not a good feeling. Like, I'm thinking back to it now and I want to cry now for me back then. It's not a good feeling at all. And if you don't know like what mastitis does particularly, I'll try to put some information down below in the description box. So I definitely would say I'm not introducing the bottle, at least within the first couple weeks. However, I will pump, which we will get into now. Y'all, when I tell you that portable pumps saved my life, I love them. I absolutely love them. Now, I will say, you got to make sure that you get the right flange sizes. Back then, the portable pump that I got, and a lot of them that I saw, only came with 1 or 2 flange sizes, but all women are different. You got to make sure that if you don't know how to figure out your flange size, at least meet with a lactation specialist or get online and do a whole bunch of research to try to figure out how to figure out your size. Because whether you got a portable pump or a manual pump, manual pump too. Whether you have a portable pump or a manual pump or one of the other plug-in electric pumps, you got to make sure you have the right one, because it's almost having the wrong flange size is almost like my daughter when she had nipple confusion. You can't get the milk out properly if it's not tailored toward your size. So if you're not getting it out properly, you get clogged, you become engorged, and it's just painful. And that can cause mastitis too. That's another reason I had mastitis, because in the beginning, I did not have the right flange sizes, and I had to make sure that I went and got those. Next, I want to say something that I feel like for some, this is like no-brainer, but for me, it was not. And that is, if you're breastfeeding, do not fast of any kind. So I was really worried about getting back to my body weight pre-baby, and maybe about 6 or 7 months in, I started intermittent fasting. Y'all, let me just say this. You need nutrients in your body in order to breastfeed. If you don't have enough nutrients in your body within the last few hours, the breastfeeding experience the next breastfeeding experience is not going to be as good as it can be. I would highly suggest do not do fasting of any kind. Like I said, this might be a no-brainer for some people. For me, it was not. It was counterproductive to my breastfeeding experience. And this is when my supply started to go down significantly. I didn't realize it at first. I thought maybe it was just, running out. But after I did it and I began to just reflect, I'm like, this happened around the same time that I started intermittent fasting. And it just, you want to be able to breastfeed for as long as you want to be able to breastfeed. And so make sure that you're not doing anything to jeopardize that. Make sure that you're eating enough, you're drinking enough water and staying hydrated, you're not eating terribly bad foods, you're getting enough sleep. And I know all of these things sound crazy to be trying to do while you have a newborn, especially if you working while you got a newborn. Whoo! Unless you feel like the Lord is really calling you to. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. The weight will come off eventually. Lastly, and this kind of goes to body image a little bit, and I was very insecure about this at first. Now I don't care as much as I did back then, but just know your breasts are going to look different. They're gonna look different. I'm not gonna get into detail about my experience. Have confidence in yourself. I pray that you have someone in your life who loves you and pours affirmations into you and makes you feel comfortable in the skin that you're in. I want you to know that you are more than your body, whether you've gained a lot of weight, whether haven't gained enough weight, like whatever the situation is, your whole body is gonna look different, honestly. And it's not just your breasts, your whole body is gonna look different. And I hope that you have confidence in who you are in your heart, you have confidence in your character, you have just confidence in who God created you to be outside of this physical body, okay? Because at the end of the day, this physical body ain't going with us to heaven, all right? This physical body is gonna stay right here on earth, and it's gone from ashes to ashes, dust to dust, all right? But I hope that encourages you a little bit. And if you struggle with body image, especially post-baby, postpartum, I will be praying for you first and foremost. But I just want you to know that affirmations, scriptures about who you are in Christ, and just pondering on the fact that you are more than enough, that you are more than this body. I don't care what this world tells you. You are more than the body that your soul is living in right now. Yes, we are to take care of these bodies because they are a temple of the Lord. He has given them to us. However, post-baby, like, God knows what you looking like. God knows what happens to our bodies after we give birth. God knows what happens to our bodies after we breastfeed. Like, you're gonna get that confidence back eventually. I'm not back to the weight that I was before, and honestly, I'm not trying to get back to that weight. Like, I want to be fit and healthy, and yeah, I want to slim my waist down a little bit more, but more than anything, I have confidence in myself now. And it took me building confidence in my very imperfect body at my highest weight ever to really begin to actually lose weight. It took me getting confidence in that body to actually begin to lose weight and get consistent in the gym. So I hope this encourages you. If you've made it this far, I'm so glad that you have. I hope that you have gotten some value out of this video. If you would like to see more videos like this, comment below. And until next time, y'all, bye.